Okay, so I think today finally, after over a year and a half, we are going to tear down this 2012 Toyota Lexus. I think it's a, I don't know, 2G RFE 3.5 liter V6 that came out of the Frankenstein Lexus that I got. I ended up swapping a whole drivetrain in it. The engine is smoked. Transmission's still good. Power steering's still good. You know, starter's still good. Alternator, throttle body, intake manifold. I'm going to sell some of this stuff. But I think we're going to strip it down and get it to the point where I can recycle the aluminum. Alternator's probably still good because that's that power steering pump. Yeah, we can probably do that too. All this stuff was good and running until it overheated itself into disaster. So we're going to start breaking that down, see if we can get it to the point where parts can be sold and the rest of it can be recycled and get it out of my garage. So yeah, we'll see where we end up. Alright, so if you look way back in the Wayback Machine, this unit used to run, but it met its untimely end, whoops, at the hands of a failed radiator. The radiator had cracked, but it was being sneaky, and it ran out of coolant and decided it was no longer going to run. And it was in a bad location, and the young lady who owned it safely drove it until she could get out of somewhat danger. But let's see if she turns over. It should, because it turned over with, the plugs are still in it. And much like I remember, it has no compression. Yeah, so she does turn over, but no compression whatsoever. Everything else I'm certain is fine. This engine, I think it had 185,000 on it. It was very well maintained by the Lexus dealer in New Orleans. It just unfortunately met an untimely end. So I think the first thing we're going to do now, or the next thing we're going to do now that we've checked that, is probably start taking the wiring harness off of it. Because it's still good. I can probably sell that too. So we're going to start trying to. Oh, I hate Lexus plugs in this era. There we go. Plugs tend to break. Alright, so we're going to get some screwdrivers, start popping all that apart, and we'll be back. Alright, so the harness is about 80% undone, but you can't get to some of it without pulling the intake manifold, at least some of it cleanly. Had a few clips break, but in general it's in decent shape so far. Certainly if somebody's had an accident where they cut something or anything like that, this is going to end up being more than adequate. So I think what I'm going to start doing now is disconnecting some of this junk. Don't need that. Certainly don't need that. Alright, let's see what we got in the intake manifold. Looks like a couple of 10s and some socket head cap screws. Yep. Back in a minute. All right. course, there are a bunch of brackety things back here. I think they're 12s maybe. Forgot about the water-cooled throttle body, or the water-heated throttle body. Goes. There she is. What the Christ? Okay, so that's kind of telling. That's plastic. She got hot. Wow. Okay, so the intake manifold might not be any good. Yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. Strangely, the gaskets look fine, but that is melted plastic that got sucked down into the intake. Okay then. Throttle body's probably still good though. So we'll save that. Alright, now I think get rid of this thing. Now we should be able to get the rest of the wiring harness off. Yep, there it is. There it is. And I think one last time here. Lego. All right, so one generally intact Lexus wiring harness and one much cleaner looking engine. So, good. Now, I think I'm going to blow it out again because I found some more junk, and then we're going to take a look down inside the intake ports. Okay, so generally the intake doesn't look too terrible, except for that one, which has, the light's not very good, but some of that plastic crap sucked into it. But the other ones, really not terrible. I want to say the lower intake manifold with the fuel injectors is salvageable. So, I think that's what we're going to pull off next. Looks like some Torx screws, some 12s. There's a regulator. Yeah, alright, that's what we're going to get next. Alright, so it looks like we just got a bunch of 12s. thing with the injectors and everything. Sell that as a unit. And then the rest of them are Torx, or 12s by the looks. I don't know why I didn't just use the 12, but might as well be difficult. Woo! Those are snug. Extra. Oh, I see 2 more. Come on. Alright, let's see. That's that. Yeah, fuel injectors and all. I'd say that's a good piece. Looks pretty clean. A little bit of plastic goo to clean off. Nothing terrible there. Alright. Set that upside down so it's not sitting on the injectors. Let's see if we can take a look into the valves, down into the intake valves. Don't look too bad. Oh, I'm sure these heads are all warped to hell. Yeah, not terrible. But again, definitely been hot. Don't see anything terrible in the bottom, so there were no coolant leaks. It's really sad that they lost this engine, because it was well cared for and in good shape. Not bad at all. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is try to salvage those knock sensors, so I can just stick those on the harness to have that. Just have a completely complete harness. And we'll be right back. Alright, so yeah, the knock sensor housings are melted. Phew! So those may not be any good. Looks like the plugs are good though, so hopefully that's alright. But yeah, she got kind of crispy down there. Alright, now we're going to get this end of the water neck off. It's stuck on the O-ring, because of course it is. And that water pipe, that double water pipe is an assembly. So that makes things difficult. Back in a minute. See what old Blackie has to say about this. There it goes. O-ring water housing. I don't know if that has any value, but still looks halfway decent. Gaskets have just disintegrated. They were sealing, but not much left of them. Alright, so now we're going to flip it around and attack what I believe to be the water pump. Couple of bucks right there. Alright, let's see what we got here. These are 14s. That's the motor mount housing. Obviously, not being in the car, it's not all that required. But it does make changing this water pump in the car quite a pain. Yep, battery. Back in a minute. Alright. That's a little better. Couple more bucks. Alright, now we can see thermostat housing anyway, because this is the water pump. Alright, let's see, this looks like some 10s. Gotta be more than, oh, yep, one more. There's gotta be more than 2. Alright. There it is. Water pump housing and or thermostat housing and crossover pipe. Nice pink coolant. So, thinking those might be worth a buck or two. Maybe. This might even be too, because that's kind of a unique piece. Let's see. Alright. So, since I don't want to pull the transmission yet, I think we're going to start stripping the front of the engine. Where does this hose go? Alright, that's power steering. Guess we'll take that guy off. I might even send that whole thing with the power steering rack. Alright, so that's squeezy clamp. I hate these things. There. Garbage. Looks like it's just held on. A couple of 12s, maybe? Oh, 14s. That it? Yep. And 110, nope, that's a 12. Beautiful. All right. Well, I think because I can, now that it's free, I'm going to pull this power steering rack off. And just get that out of the way. All right. We're going to pull the alternator next. Sneaky little guy back there. Because of course there is. Yeah, that boy's still good. That one's still good. Okay. Now I guess we'll start getting the front accessories off. Some of these weren't great, but my guess. Aha, really? Yep, reverse thread. Those are all junk. Let's see what it's going to take to knock that water pump pulley off. Those 12s. Yep. easier to be done with the, there it goes, belt on. Alright, now you can see the full breadth of the water pump goes all the way from here to here, and that thermostat neck actually O-rings onto the pump itself. I think those are all 10s. Nice thing, so far everything has been a 10 or 12 or a 14. Burn. Oof. Ugh. I don't know what that smells like, but it doesn't smell good. Does not smell good. Oh my. Oh. Oh, that is sad. That is some very brown coolant. Water pump's still good though. I think that's sellable. I don't know what Eric at I Do Cars is always complaining about. These water pumps are freaking perfect. Anyway, there's also a pretty wacky gasket that goes with this thing. It's actually got the back of the housing built into it. Don't need that. Oh yeah, we got some. Ew. Oh. Oh, that's not good. I think that's oil. Kind of smells coolant-y, but I don't think it's supposed to be that black in those passages. So yeah, we're starting to get into the depth of our depravity here. Alright, so, okay, I'm gonna take a little break, figure out what we're gonna do next. Alright, I think the next thing we're gonna do is pull the coils and plugs. I'm sure they're fine after being heated to a plasma and cooled. That was a little early. Yep, a little bit drippy. Those are garbage. That was the rear bank. Front bank's missing a screw because the techs at the Lexus dealership, I'm sure, took it apart. A little bit more oil. A little bit more oil. And not too bad, but yeah, she needed valve cover gaskets. Either that or the temperature excursion has caused issues. Okay, why are you guys not wanting to come out? Alright, I'm gonna have to get some hose to get some of these, get these out of there. Alright, let me go get a hose. Alright, well these plugs were extremely well lubricated, but that is mainly because of the valve covers. Really though, they don't look terrible. Nothing smashed. Oh, there's my problem. The rubber gasket came out of the socket. That would do it. That's why I wasn't picking them up. But yeah, they don't look bad. So, I guess that's a good thing. Alright, I think now we're going to start figuring out how to get the valve covers off. First thing, try to get the solenoids out. One. Two. And don't really see much going on in there. I didn't expect to, but those don't look terrible. More garbage. I don't know what this little guy is. I'm going to pull him off next. Looks like some sort of a sensor. Okay. I would say that was a cam position sensor. Also doesn't look terrible. Another one, that's probably the other cam position sensor. Oh, we're making a mess. I don't have any pig mats. Yep. Also, cam position sensor. Looks like the only thing we got now is this big honkin' oil line, or whatever this is. So, find the right wrench for that. I doubt it's an 18. It's not. It's a 17. Crack that loose. Another one down here. Oh yeah, there we go. There's some oil. This is drained because it doesn't have a pan on it. But still some in the, a little bit in the passages. I mean, it smells like bad, dirty used oil. It doesn't smell completely smoked. We got one more tin on that guy. That might be worth something. Who knows? Alright. And I think that's it. So now let's see if we can get the valve cover off. All 10s, except for 2 12s. Alright, I think that's it. Let's see what's behind cover number 1. Got a nice little part. Oh, no. Okay, a little priable edge here. staring at that one, saying, hey, stupid, you forgot one. Yep. Because, of course, oh man, what a waste. Look at this thing. Oh, was this an unfortunate waste. Look at this. And that is after being overheated to the surface of the sun. Look at how clean this is. Oh, is this sad? This is truly unfortunate. I mean, this thing, let me get this off here, give me a minute. Look at this. There is nothing in this engine. This is a 185,000 mile engine. It's been maintained by the dealer on time. Oh, is this sad? This thing is immaculate. The cams look nearly brand new. So maybe those are worth something? I don't know. These heads may actually be worth something now that I see how good it is. So I am probably not going to pull the cams out of it if I can help it. Wow, that is spectacular. Holy smoke, this is sad. Just look at that. Just sad that this thing got cooked. This was such a good engine. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time the valve cover's off. That's factory sealant in there. This is sad. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Now that might help, because it looks like you need to take the cams out to get to the head bolts. But it appears that the reason there were some bigger screws for the valve cover is that this uses a bridge? Yeah, it does. Okay, the whole thing is a bridge itself, so that can all come apart in one piece, which is kind of neat. But man, look at how clean that is. Good night. That's awful. Man, that's awful. But yeah, so I'm going to try to keep those cam assemblies together, because there's no reason to tear that apart. They are way too clean to do that. All the valves, everything in here looks absolutely mint. I mean, looks brand new. This thing might as well have just rolled off the showroom. Absolutely mint. Alright, man, that's brutal. Okay, so we've done a little bit of prep on this side. We got the dipstick to get off. Of course, this is in the way. Not enough prep. See if the dipstick comes off. It didn't put up much of a fight. Okay. And I've got the oil lines, everything else off. So I think the valve cover is ready. Let's see if this one is as... Oh, nope. Missed one. Always missing one. Ooh. Man, these are crusty. Goes. Okay. see. Yep. See if this one is as depressing as the other one. Yep. Just as depressing. Man, this thing was clean. Oh, was this thing clean. There was nothing built up in the solenoids on this side. But again, man, look at that. Timing chains are still good. Still see the paint perfectly on them. Perfectly tight. This one doesn't have any spring in it, but that's interesting. Otherwise, again, absolutely nothing to suggest there was any issues with this thing. Yeah, she was a beauty. She was a beauty. All right, so I think now that that's done, we got to get the front cover off of this thing. Kind of hoping it comes off without that motor mount coming off, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll find out. The first thing we got to do, I think, is going to be get that crank pulley off. So let's see how that goes. Next. Can't beat air. That was easy enough. Okay, so I see a cover plate right here. That may have something under it. I don't know. I'm gonna pop that off. Yep, that's the tensioner for that side. I don't think we need that yet. What do we got here? Looks like I can take the belt tensioner mount off. This would probably be quicker if I got some bigger sockets. Back in a minute. Holy smoke! Twisting that one. What else am I missing? Jesus, what is holding you on? Aha! One more. Looks like it's part of another bracket. There it goes. Okay. So we'll pull that sensor out of there, whatever that is. That may be, that's probably crank position. I think we're ready to start zipping some bolts out. See what we got. Those look like 10s and 12s and all sorts of other things. Some up inside of the oil pan. This is going to be fun. Actually, it's 12s and 14s. Dummy. Okay. Now we got some that come up from the bottom. Really? It's a nut? I mean, the upper oil pan has to come off before the front cover. That sucks. Well, it's got a little hex on the stud, so maybe we can pull the stud out. But I gotta get one more back here, and one more over here, and then I'm gonna see if I can pull these studs out, because that will help my cause. Okay, well, I think we got all the verticals out. I got the vertical stud out. I couldn't get the horizontal studs out because they didn't want to play nice. So, let's see, give me anywhere to pry on this unit. That one. Feels like something's stuck downstairs a little ways. That one's moving. All right. Let's see. Oh. No. I don't think it's held on by that motor mount. It's moving, but not well. Let's see. Trying to not completely tear this thing up, if I can help it. It is certainly acting like there's one more bolt over here. I don't know. Maybe it is on that damn motor mount. That is what it's acting like. These two bolts. This one's off. Everything's off. But may be my problem. So, yeah, alright, I'm going to jack under this thing, see if I can do that, and try to get that motor mount off. Because, of course, behind the motor mount, wrong size. That's annoying. Alright, let's see if that helps. I'll bet that helps. Okay. Okay. Starting to move. You're really probably supposed to take the lower oil pan off. Get the oil pan off to do this. Fumble, fumble, fumble. But again, I'm not rebuilding this. I just want to get it apart. Okay, that's off. I'm not proud of it. Turns out you need to take the pickup for the oil pump off before you can pull that. And once I figured that out, I got in there. It's like, okay, good, I can do this. And then one of the nuts rounded off. So, I went medieval on it and removed it. This is why you don't want me working on your junk, because if I wreck my junk, it's okay. Anyway, now we can continue. As you can see, all the paint marks are visible. These timing chains are perfect. The guides are beautiful. Everything is immaculate, other than the pickup tube, which now has been cut off. I don't think this has ever been off because that's factory sealant. Yeah, this is all factory sealant in here. Absolutely a shame that this engine had to fall into my hands like this. So I think now we're going to bust that timing chain tensioner off, see if we can get the chain off. It looks like we should be able to. And maybe the guides. And if that comes off, we should be able to break the cam towers loose, hopefully, with a little more aplomb than I just showed to the oil pump. No safety tote. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Boring. Yep. Little bit of wear, but absolutely perfect. Just perfect. Okay. Let's see if we get that off. Get this off. Yep. So take that other chain out. Take that other guide out. Really? Why do you not come off? I don't want to take you off. Okay. Okay, well, that chain is going to stay with that head. It's a pretty nice chain. It is not worn out by any stretch of the imagination. Couple more guides. Perfect. This is why these are just beautiful engines. Not that I can tear anything up. Now that wasn't helping either. Didn't realize there was a big stud there. That wasn't helping either. So, this thing was, look at the crank, just so perfect. Here's your cam position sensor, tone wheel. Man, this thing was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. Get that out of here. Alright. So, I think now we can get the cam towers off. Possibly. And then the heads. Let's see if I can ruin this. Alright, we'll try this one first since it's facing me. Looks like this one. No. No. Why the hell not? Oh, I see. All the gold bolts. Very interesting. I still don't want to take these apart if I don't have to. Nope. Let me get a bag for these. See if that might want to move a little bit. Whoop. I think she's loose. Oh, there it is. There it is. Cam assembly number 1. Okay. That makes me happy. Sit that on the valve cover. Alright. I should probably pull all of those and put them in a bag too. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, let's turn it around and buzz off the other one. Alright, busted those loose. Come on, there it goes. Put those over there to sit safely on the valve covers. And we'll just pop the followers off. There. Still looks beautiful. Oh, goody. Huh, I may have to get a tool. So this may be the end of this video for today. Because I don't think the right socket to take that off. That looks like a triple square or something. Alright, so I'm just about out of battery. So this will be the end of part 1. Tune in for part 2. See you then.